and right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Bengal Barn. I'm Santori Miles. We got Bengal Dad. How we doing? How we doing?
It's been a good couple weeks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We haven't had shows because Bengal Dad here has been a fucking wanderlust world traveler.
What's the helmet?
Where'd you go? Tell us where you went.
First off, what's your helmet back there?
Do what?
Your helmet.
Yeah.
What's the helmet?
I bought a helmet.
Let me see it.
It's not Joe Burrow. Everybody thinks it's Joe Burrow.
Let me see it.
Well, hold on. It's a Cleveland helmet.
I was going to say it's the Cleveland Browns. What are you doing?
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Oh. Nice.
Signed by Johnny Manziel. I got a fuck Cleveland helmet. It's the greatest thing ever. It's going to be a little piece during the show from now on.
There you go. So are you having trouble hearing me?
A little bit. I know you said there was feedback when I had my speakers in, so I didn't put the speakers in.
Can you turn anything else up? Because I feel like I'm going to have to yell the whole time.
Well, let me try this, and I'll turn my speakers down, and we'll see how the feedback is.
We got a few of our loyals here. I see Greg in the house, and we got Matt, stranger.
How's the feedback right now?
It's fine.
Fine. Okay.
I can hear it a little bit, but it's not bothering me. As long as
okay,
as I don't
we'll
have to
get
scream
it.
at you.
We'll get it figured out as we go here.
Okay.
Greg says, ignore the Reds because when we do, they win. Yeah, I don't think I've watched a Reds game in a week and a half, and apparently they're doing better.
They're doing better.
But yeah, the first thing
they're playing a bad team right now and they're winning.
Listen, you got to play everybody in baseball. You're going to get breaks. You're going to catch people at the right times. It is what it is. Anytime you got a team that decides they're going to win 10 in a row like the Cubs, they probably played some bad teams in there. They're not always just going to be win streaks against world beaters. But let's talk about the boys this summer. I haven't really been watching them. I'll be honest. I can't live and die with the Reds every single night. It aggravates me too much.
Well, hold on a second. Stranger says it sounds like I'm in a really big tile bathroom.
Are you echoing?
Are you hearing it?
You sound fine to me.
Oh.
Greg, Matt, somebody, help. Does he sound like he's in a tile bathroom? We'll wait on the chat. And now the Cubs can't win. We'll get the comments back on stage. He says, I do hear echo.
I think that's
Maybe
from
it's
you.
my speakers.
I think it's from you.
Okay. Say something again.
I think the echo's from you.
Okay. Now my speakers are off. Now I want you to talk. I can't hear a thing at this point.
Well, that's not good.
Is there still an echo? Greg.
Echo, echo, echo.
Help me, Greg. You're my only hope.
Obi-Wan.
I can't hear anything. You guys could be saying the meanest shit about me right now, and I would have no idea.
Well, Greg's
so
not answering.
No echo. Okay, so it's my speakers. That's
the
fine.
trouble is in your set, Tyler.
Speakers are unplugged.
But now you can't hear anything.
I can hear you a little bit. The speaker's just it's the one coming from the back of the tower. It's just on the floor. I can still understand what's going on.
Okay. So what were you asking me?
I don't remember.
We were talking about the Reds and that they were
playing
better.
Well, I mean, you've been watching them, and I haven't. So what's the prognosis with this team?
Well,
right now.
they're hitting a little bit, and their pitching for the last few games has been a little more normalized. But if you're scoring a half a dozen runs a game, you're going to win quite a few of them until our bullpen decides to rear its ugly head, which it does periodically.
Yeah, that's the guy I wanted to talk about. Greg put Burns is 7-1. That's your guy right now. You're a big Chase Burns guy. It feels
Well,
like.
again, he's the guy because I hear people that say extend Sal and extend this guy or give this guy a long term. It's pitching. Baseball is more about pitching than anything. So if you're going to extend anybody or you're going to take a chance, I would take a chance on Chase Burns. I would try to lock him up.
But would his agent take a chance on it?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? You're not going to.
That's kind of the duality of it. Always.
Maybe they've tried already. I don't know.
I don't know.
But no, he's 7-1. It's very unusual because usually Reds pitchers get a bunch of no decisions. So for a Reds pitcher to be 7-1 in the first third of the season or whatever it is, that's amazing. I'm wondering how everybody feels right now about McLean, how they feel about Sal Stewart.
Let's go back to the thing you kept talking about McLean with over the last year. How do you think McLean feels? He shot down what was probably $70 million.
Yeah.
He'll never see that.
No, not with the way he hits. I mean, he's becoming a Key Brian Hayes. And it's something that I have seen all year, and I keep complaining about. He never seems to be able to get ahead of the pitch without trying to overly, jerk at the left field. It seems like he's always late. And then there was an interview with Francona yesterday, and lo and behold, he said, yeah, it seems like Matt's always just a little bit late. And that's why he fouls so many balls off. That's why he doesn't hit with the power that we know he can hit with. I think he needs to open his stance ever so slightly, raise his hands ever so slightly, just to generate a little more bat speed and just to be already a little bit open to where you're not overly doing it and then you're trying to pull the curveball and hitting a dribbler to short. I think he's close. He is just off by a split second, and all he's got to do is make a couple minor adjustments. I want the kid to do well. He always gets ripped on about his defense. He hasn't made an error in like 80 games. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. He's a really good base runner. He's a really good defensive player. He laid down the best bunt of the year yesterday for a sacrifice bunt that I've seen a Reds player do in a long time. So fundamentally, he's incredibly sound. He's just in his own head at the plate.
Can't steal first.
No, you can't. Cannot steal first.
What was that?
That was a text message.
I tell you what. We never mind. I'm not. I almost made fun of a customer, and I feel like that's bad. We had some wild text message tones from a customer the other day, and that's an off-air story. We'll leave it at that.
What else we got here? We got extend Burns. Greg is done with McLean. Greg really had high hopes for him. Yeah, Matt agrees with him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the clock's ticking on Matt McLean.
Yeah, ticking on McLean, ticking on Key Brian Hayes. Especially when you've got
they got a. I think they've got another. Shit. What was the guy's name? Moustakis. They got another Moustakis on their hands with a relatively big contract, and you just don't ever want to play the guy.
Yeah, they've done that 3 times. They did it with Moustakis. They did it with Candelario. They've done it with this guy. Every time they
interviewed Kroll, I think it was, and he said that they knew about his back problems, and they knew about this and they knew about that, but they thought they could get him straightened out. What makes them think they can straighten anybody out? Who's the last player the Reds have had that was a really, really poor performer and they came here and they found gold? I don't know if they've ever had one of those. I mean, Mariano Duncan? Brandon
All right,
Phillips?
so Matt brings up a fun point, and again, I haven't really been watching, but I've been seeing some spots. What's going on with Mr. Dunn?
Dunn's playing better, but he's got a horrible habit of swinging at pitches that are boring in on him. Yesterday, he swung and missed at a pitch, and it hit him in the stomach. Now, how often do you see that happen? And he swings at a lot of pitches that are riding in on him. It's like he can't.
As somebody with personal experience of swinging at pitches and getting hit, I've seen it.
I
done it.
understand, but that I think he's getting better. What I'm getting tired of hearing is how fast he is. I've never seen him beat out an infield hit. I've never seen him do anything spectacular. They say he's like an eyelash behind the speed of Ellie. I've never seen him one time do anything.
Speed's only good
like
when you can do the other stuff to let the speed complement it. I don't care how fast John Ross is if he can't do the other stuff to let the speed work.
I agree, but I don't think he's as fast as they're saying he is.
I think he looks pretty quick, but I mean,
Ryan
the
Freeland
guys
says-
that are the guy for is it Tampa? Chandler Simpson? That guy's fucking fast.
Yeah.
That guy can fly.
We have a Friedel needs to go. I don't know what happened to Friedel because last year I was adamant that he was like one
I
of the
think
best
he's
players
got to
on the
be
team.
hurt. I think there's something going on with his left shoulder because he can't. He's always had a bad arm. He's got a horrible arm.
He's got
right
a horrible arm. I don't know. He doesn't look like he can run anymore. He's misjudging balls in the outfield.
I think he's hurt. You
Something's
always find out that guys
Something's
are
not
like.
right.
You always find out guys are like hurt. Like it'll be like February. They'll be like, yeah, he played like 87 games with a torn ball sack, and he'll be like, well, why were we doing that?
Right.
What was the point? Like it's like when they said Ellie played the final 50 games with a bad hamstring. Why? Let it heal. Baseball players do not play well when they're hurt. They just don't.
Greg brought up one of my favorite all-time players.
Do what?
Greg brought up one of my favorite all-time players. Billy.
Billy.
I love Billy Hamilton.
Billy was fun.
He
There's
was
not
electric.
many guys that I would genuinely stop what I was doing to watch when they hit, especially like a fucking 200 hitter like Billy. But if he put a ball in play, anything was going to happen.
I think another person that we need to be talking about is Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie, he's most productive now when he's hitting the ball the other way and up the middle. Not really hitting for much power, whatsoever. He's not stealing bases, and he's not really creating any excitement on the bases, whether it's going first to third or beating out an infield hit. I think he was told, if you want to play 162 games, I don't want you busting it down the line. I don't think Francona would ever come out publicly and say that, but he is not running with nearly the effort that he used to run with.
I would agree. I think, and it's something that we used to tell our kids when I coached too, like, hey, we love the 110% plays. And you tell pitchers this all the time too. You've got to find a 90 that you can live at. And when you need it, you hit it. But it's almost like he didn't dial it to 90. It's like he dialed it to like 70.
And
So
when
he
he's
went
getting
too far.
thrown out, now he hit a super close one the other day on trying to steal. But it used to be where, kind of like with Billy Hamilton, when the ball's like halfway there, they're already like sliding into second. You're going, oh, that's an easy one. I can't remember the last time I went, oh, that's an easy one for Ellie. It's like he always gets a bad jump. Just don't ask John Sadak, because John Sadak says every player in baseball gets a great jump. I don't know. He's playing himself into being a relatively good hitter, but not a real exciting player.
Yeah. I agree, but this is the consistency I look for. Now, if he can It's almost like if you could dial it back to where you're a much consistent hitter and then start layering those other things back on, maybe that's the approach. I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe.
But, if all I'm going to get out of him the rest of the time is still probably 20 to 30 stolen bases, 30 plus home runs, and he's going to hit
I don't
280.
think I don't think you're ever getting 30 plus home runs out of
I
this.
think you will.
I mean, look at the
25.
ballpark he plays in, and he still hasn't done it.
If he ends up being a 280 to 290 hitter
He won't
with
be.
some legitimate pop,
He's not a 280 to 290 hitter.
I think he can be.
The only way he can be is he relinquishes all of his power. And what's the point of that?
So do we want him to be Adam Dunn with stolen bases? High strikeout?
I want him to be everything that his talent allows him to be.
I don't know what that is because it's so wildly inconsistent.
I don't know. He's looking a lot better defensively. I will say that.
Yeah, that was kind of my only gripe beyond the strikeouts, and I can live with strikeouts.
I can't live with the amount of strikeouts when he gets into a funk.
Let's transition to somebody who's wildly consistent. And if you've
Spencer
been following
Steer.
me, and if you've been following me on Twitter the last 3 days, you've seen me just going for the jugular for people in info dumping with just straight data.
Oh, we're switching over to Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty. The guy. Why is it? And we talked about this earlier. Every single time that there's a quarterback debate, my quarterback's better than your quarterback. Why is it always pitted against Burrow? Why is it when it's Herbert? Because right now it's Herbert. Chargers fans are going fucking feral all over social media with Justin Herbert. And I want to pause real quick and take a quick tangent. I love Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a fantastic quarterback. He does not get a whole lot of help. I think he's a superstar. He's one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks we've probably ever seen. I still personally like Joe Burrow, but I understand the hype and the love for Herbert. I really, really do. He's one of those guys. He's way up on my list. I love him. Hated him in college. Love him in the NFL. With that being said, every time it's a Ravens fan bitching, right? It's, well, Lamar's better than Joe. Chargers. Well, Herbert's better than Joe. Well, Josh is better than Joe. Well, Dak is better than Joe. Well, it's like, I'm tired of fucking hearing it. I think that's how you know your quarterback's good, when everybody else has to compare their guy to your guy. Joe always gets
I think
comped to.
nationally, Joe Burrow gets as much, if not more, love than almost any quarterback from the majority of the national media. When things are clicking, it's really fun because we know we can go to Twitter and everybody's got their clips of all the different morning shows, and Joe Burrow dominates everything when he's clicking. And I think a lot of fans just that aren't Bengal fans are a little bit.
He's one of those
jealous
guys
about
where if you're not a Joe Burrow fan, it's probably sickening how often you hear about him. But we've never got to experience that as Bengal fans. I never have. Maybe that's kind of what it was like with Boomer in the 80s. I'm sure they were kind of everywhere. But we also don't have the media range right now, or back then, that you have now.
I think the other thing that bothers people about Burrow, if I could take a step back, and if I weren't a Bengal fan, this is going to really predate me. But Burrow is to the NFL what Oral Hershiser was to Major League Baseball. Oral Hershiser was like a bookwormy, a nerd, a weird guy. And you thought, how can this guy ever beat us? Look at the way he looks on the mound. Look at those stupid glasses and like buck teeth or whatever he had. And he would just dominate you. And you look at Burrow, I mean, he's not an intimidating guy. Everybody knows about his idiosyncrasies. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around a guy like that being as good as he is. That might be a little bit of it.
Maybe it is, but there's a good little side discussion down there that I do want to get in on, because we try to keep these at about half an hour, and we got about 10 minutes left until we hit that. Ring of Honor. You and I kind of talked about it for a minute earlier today.
Yeah, my two picks were the same as Matt's.
Atkins and Brooks, huh?
Yeah, those were my picks.
I have to say Trumpy. They've got to get these older guys in. They have to. It's a shame that they waited this long to celebrate their own guys, but they have got to get the older generation in. And I think Darth...
Well, it's going to be harder for those guys to get in because the younger generation doesn't even know who Bob Trumpy is.
That's kind of what Darth said in one of our text chats today. Let's say it's one-on-one with somebody who's currently 15 years old, right? And 10 years from now, it's Jamar Chase and Trumpy's still on there. You're going to have a chance.
Right.
Or if it's T. Higgins, or, I mean, even if it's somebody that was 10 years old 5 years ago, and it's going to be Joe Mixon versus Trumpy, or Giovanni Bernard versus Trumpy, or whatever the situation is, if you're going to get too far removed where nobody's going to really recognize them anymore.
You know what's crazy is Trumpy and Collinsworth have very similar careers in regards to how good they were on the football field. Then they both became sports talk hosts in Cincinnati. And then they both went national. And Chris is on Sunday Night Football, and he's been all over the place. And Trumpy was on the number one team with for a time. No, he was on with Don Criqui. So maybe he was the number two guy, because I think Merlin Olsen and Dick Enberg were the top two announcers on NBC. Trumpy was either with the number one or number two team. Very similar, though, the paths with Collinsworth. But still, he hasn't been in the – I mean, he's God rest his soul. He's not with us anymore. But it's probably been 20 years since he was ever on a broadcast. I mean, he was broadcasting Super Bowls. But I don't think people remember him.
Nope.
I frankly don't remember how good he was. I see film clips
Do you
of him.
want to know how good he was? If you pull up his stats, Bob Trumpy's stats was not what I had on my fucking bingo card.
He was a
for
tight
tonight.
end in a West Coast offense. But they just didn't call it that.
But here's the thing. Keep in mind, like you said, tight end back in the day was not the threat that it is now, right? It wasn't the threat that it is now 20 years ago. Okay, Bob Trumpy.
It's hard to name any high quality tight ends from 50 years ago.
1969. Okay, 1969. Let's talk about 1969 Bob Trumpy. 14 games. I'm going to start letting you do the math here, all right? Because you're pretty good at the math. 14 games. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
37 receptions. It's all right.
Yeah.
Not quite 2 a game.
No, it's more. It's 2.5 a game.
Yeah, 2.5. 837 yards.
Yeah, that's about 25 yards a catch.
It's 22 yards a catch for a tight end. 800 yards for a tight end in 1969. They didn't even know how to use tight ends back then. 3 straight Pro Bowls. 1969, he was All-Pro first team. 60 yards per game, mind you. 60 yards a game. The year before that, 639. The year after that, 500. The year after that, 500. The year after that, 500. He's the best tight end we've ever had. And it was 50 years ago. And he's got guys with fucking rubber bands and paper clips with their arms held together throwing to him. What would he have done with a guy like Johnny Unitas? Or if Greg Cook wouldn't have been blown to smithereens?
Yeah.
He is an absolutely electric tight end.
He got the early career of Ken Anderson.
Do what?
He had the early career of Ken Anderson.
Yep.
And Sam Weish.
The guy had 4,600 yards receiving. 4,600 yards receiving for a tight end. Before women could open a checking account. 4,600 yards. The guy's great. He should be in the Hall of Fame, nonetheless, the Bengals Ring of Honor. You can't let somebody of that pedigree just to the wayside. You can't.
Yeah, the Bengals probably should let the fans maybe pick one or pick two, and then maybe the Bengals have a team selection or something.
He averaged 15.4 yards per catch for his career. 15.4 over the course of 10 years. Do you understand how big 15.4 is of a number? For reference, T. Higgins, who I think everybody would, recognize as a deep threat. He stretches the field a bit. T. Higgins only has 800 more yards. And he has 14 yards a catch. I mean, let's go Chad Johnson. Chad was definitely a deep threat. This would be better if my internet loaded faster. Chad was 14.4. Marvin Jones. We love throwing deep balls to Marvin Jones. He had a good little career. Marvin Jones was at 13.6. Bob Trumpy has more yards per catch than all these guys.
How about my boy, Alec Pierce?
Alec Pierce, he's probably up there.
The guy that you just don't really care much for.
He's all right. I just don't think he's a top guy. Alec Pierce for his career is 18.7.
There you go.
He's like
he
this far. He's like this far per catch behind Alec Pierce. Granted, he was dodging fucking lumberjacks and construction workers as safeties. Like, they didn't have the greatest athletes out there at the time. It was like the regular garbage man who was playing football on the side, but the guy had an incredible career in a position that wasn't being utilized at the time.
Well, there's no doubt he's being overlooked. I think another player that's going to probably get overlooked if he doesn't get in soon is going to be Fulcher.
Yeah, Fulcher's going to get overlooked. I like Trumpy and Breach, like Greg says there. Breach is the all-time leading scorer for the team, and Trumpy is he's a Bengals icon. You can't tell the story of the Cincinnati Bengals without a very large section for Bob Trumpy. You can't. You just can't. So I'm a little bitter about it.
I can tell.
That's my rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's all I have. I'm done. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today. I'm melting away. And I just want a Snickers bar really bad, and I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, the Reds just fell behind 1-0 on a Juan Soto bomb.
They're going to fall behind 1-0 in most games that they lose. Fun fact. It's all right. Speaking of losing weight, shout out to Pork Chop, who I think he's down over 200 pounds since he started losing weight.
Holy
I can't go that far with it, but congratulations, Chop.
That's a lot of pounds.
You would disappear if you lost 200 pounds.
I would be gone.
I would look like a blow pop. Last question from Greg, and then we'll jump off here. Any more moves? Yeah, I think there's going to be some more moves from the Bengals. I don't think they're done. I've got what is referred to as, I think it's a Tuesday is when they cut everybody. I call that Black Tuesday, and I'm going to keep calling it that until it's monikered that.
They're going to have to fortify that linebacker room.
It's probably going to be a linebacker. There's going to be a guy, whether it's an outside linebacker or a guy like a Kyle Van Noy or somebody who kind of plays that hybrid position like a Jerome Baker. There's going to be somebody that of quality I'm predicting. I have no idea. I don't have any names. I don't have any worms in my ear. There's going to be somebody of quality that gets the axe sometime between now and Black Tuesday. Will they come in and start? I don't know. Would I love it if it was like a Dahani Jones situation where the guy came in here and was just that guy for 5 years? I would love that. That's what I'm hoping for. I do think that, I don't think they're done. I think they're still going to be constantly looking. I think that they've proved that over the last few years now. They didn't stop when they needed a running back. They went out and got Herbert. They went out and got Flacco when need be. They went out and got Dexter Lawrence. They've made 3 trades in the last 2 years, and I don't think I've seen them make 3 trades my entire life before that. So I would not be surprised if they make something happen just to upgrade something. I don't know if it's going to be a starter. I don't know if it's going to be depth, but I don't think they're done. No. I think you might be hitting an era with the Bengals because we've seen it for 3 straight years now where they might not ever be done. I think they're going to be constantly looking at things from here on out. I think you've got some new voices and new people in that front office, and I think that's the approach they're taking. And I really appreciate that approach.
Dan, one thing before we sign off, we haven't talked about Madrid.
Are we going to what?
We haven't talked about Madrid.
Madrid, no.
I'm very surprised. I saw a report that the fans of Cincy, they sold all 250 of their tickets. I'm kind of impressed with that.
I don't have my ticket yet. I know the general public stuff goes on July 9th. And that's kind of what we're waiting for. There's some out there. They seem a little bit overpriced at the moment. But, yeah, we're going. I've got my plane ticket. I've got my passport processing, so that should be done here in the next few weeks. And I'm excited. I make adult money, and I don't have kids, so I can do stupid stuff like this right now.
Hopefully they win. I don't want to go that far.
Ashley thinks they're going to lose because I'm going.
What's that?
Ashley thinks they're going to lose because I'm going.
Oh.
We're laying in bed the other night, and I'm looking at stuff in Madrid. She goes, you've got like a curse with away games, right? I was like, no, I don't. Didn't even think about it. And she goes, you really do. And she goes, when was the last time you went to an away game and they won? And I paused. 2005 was the Bears.
Wow.
It's been 21 years since I've seen them win an away game.
Well, they're due.
Yeah. Because she was like, well, you went to New England. That didn't go well. I said, no, that was a terrible trip. She said, heard San Diego didn't go well. I said, no, San Diego didn't go well. She said, anywhere else you've been that didn't go well? And I'm like, well, I went to Cleveland to see them win, and they blew it. And I went to Dallas. That didn't go well. She's like, uh-huh. Maybe you're the problem. And I was like, yeah, hope not, because I'm going.
All right. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of support there for Bengal fans, or for the Bengals.
I do think there's going to be a lot of support, and I'm excited for it. I don't know much about Madrid. I've heard I need to get a doner kebab while I'm down there. Darth says if Atlanta wins, I need to stay in Europe. Darth, you are Italian. If I have to stay in Europe, I'm going to go straight down to Naples, and I will be all right. We're going to go live on the Amalfi Coast. I'll go eat pasta and just die happy in Italy if I have to. I'll go sell Fiats.
All right, just wanted to bring up Madrid.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I need a little bit more information, and thanks for everybody that tuned in. We'll be back here again Wednesday. I do have a guest lined up for Wednesday, which I'm excited about.
You do?
We haven't had many guests on the show in a long time, so I've got a guest for Wednesday.
Do we have a name?
Do what?
Do we have a name?
I have a name, but I'm not going to say it yet.
Wow.
You like him a lot. I'll say that.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about or not.
Oh, never mind then. Maybe I don't.
It has nothing to do with baseball. So
Oh, okay. Then that wasn't it.
Yeah, no, not him. But thank you for everybody to joining. It has been a great night. I am tired. I am hungry. For Bengal Dad, I'm Santori Miles. Get fucked, Pittsburgh.